What's up, party people? It's like plus 12, plus 13 outside and sunny, and so it feels like summer. So I'm very excited and happy about that. We've got another book haul today, and then the last short story in our O'Connor compilation. Now, that's a bit sad, okay? End of an era. This is going to be the last vlog for a while, but don't worry, I'm not going anywhere. I'll still be reading, I'll still be hauling books. I've got some exciting things coming down the line for you. But you have to wait about a month and a half-ish. So be prepared to take a bit of a break, but we're going to come back in full force. With that being said, let's get to the first book in our stack today, and that is Henry James, The Awkward Age. Now, Henry James, born 1843 in New York. Wikipedia says he's an American-British author. What does that mean? Pick one. I don't know. He's born in New York, so he's American, I guess. Yeah, The Awkward Age. Henry James has a lot of notable works, okay? Most notably, The Turn of the Screw, which is supposed to be one of the most strange ghost stories of all time. I do have a copy of that, so I will get to it one day. He also wrote, What Maisie Knew, Washington Square, The Ambassadors, The Golden Bowl, a lot of different things. This is one of his lesser known works. Apparently has mixed reviews, critically speaking. So who knows when I'll get to it. But it is that nice, sweet, orange and white Penguin Classics that has good movement to it. So yeah, good find. Next up, we've got a historical book, okay? This one is a secondary source, so it's not anything original, but it is by Stuart Pigott, and it's called The Druids, okay? So the Druids were priests, Celtic priests. The Celts lived before the Romans kind of conquered Europe, and they lived like, kind of like Central Europe, like France, and up into England as well. My geography's not that good, I apologize. But yeah, sort of in there-ish. And apparently we don't know too much about the Druids because there's not much, they didn't leave much behind. But here's what we do know, right here. So thank you, Mr. Stewart. There's even some illustrations in here halfway, in black and white, of course. But yeah, cool stuff. Next up, I've got a kind of a more rare book. Now, not super rare, okay? It's not worth a lot of money, but it is a little more rare. And that is a hardcover copy of The Book of Runes by Ralph Blum. Blum? Book of Runes. It's kind of, the embossing on the front's a bit faded. But yeah, it's about the Vikings and their strange ritualistic alphabet. Here's the full set of runes at the front. Yeah, pretty cool. Not sure I'll read that anytime soon, but another cool reference book. Next up, if you've been following the channel, you know I'm collecting the older Oxford Classics edition of Shakespeare, the complete works. So I have all of his like better known stuff, but his lesser known stuff is harder to find. I say lesser known, okay? All of Shakespeare's stuff is well known, relatively speaking. So here's the play As You Like It. They all have great covers on the front of them. Anyway, this is a pastoral comedy. Two girls, a girl and her cousins, are being persecuted at their uncle's court. They take off, and they find like not a civilization, but like a town or a group of people living in the Forest of Arden, I believe it's called, and they seek love there, I think. That's the basis of what I think goes on in this play. Anyways, this one also contains the famous speech, like the whole world's a stage. I'm butchering that. Anyway, this does have a claim to fame. Notably that it's written by Shakespeare, but yes. Anyways, moving on. Okay, whoa. This next one is not a single book, but a set. And it's six book hardcover set called The Great Religions of Modern Man. And you probably saw it in the thumbnail. It's very beautiful, okay? The dust jackets on these are very nice. I got this full set at the book sale for quite cheap. And they all have these great, like, like symbols and emblems on the front. Very cool. There's the one for Catholicism. We'll go through them one by one. Here's the one for Judaism. Here's the one for Hinduism. Here's the one for Buddhism. And then the last two here we have are Protestantism and Islam. Anyways, yeah, it's 1964, I believe, 1966. I don't remember. Anyway, somewhere in the 1960s. And yeah, they just kind of cover the basics of all the world religions. So a great kind of reference set to have. Oh, and the tops of all the pages are like waxed red, which is cool. But yeah, really beautiful, well typeset books. Next up, we kind of got like a very interesting compilation, or anthology would be a better word to describe it, and that is Other Canadas. It is an old sci-fi anthology. What year did it come out here? Does it say? It does say 1979. That's the copyright. When was it printed? It doesn't say. Sometime early 80s, late 70s. And it has a bunch of short stories, sci-fi. I think they're mostly written by Canadian authors, or if they're not written by Canadian authors, the subject or the plot occurs in Canada. It also has some sci-fi related poems at the end, which I didn't even know existed, so that's cool. Anyways, yeah, interesting little find there. Last up, we have a behemoth. It's quite thick, okay? How many pages are in here? And it feels extra thick, so it's a hardcover. Oh, only 650, but still, it's pretty big. And that is the first volume of the Letters of T.S. Eliot. So pretty happy to find this. Apparently this, the publisher who published all the letters, there's 5 volumes. So I only have the first one, which is pathetic. But yeah, pretty cool. So we've talked about T.S. Eliot on the channel before. I don't need to go over his biography. And there's a very nice embossing of his signature on the front if you take the dust jacket off. Yeah, very nice. That's all for the stack today. Pretty good. Moving on to our short story. It's the last one in the set, okay? I did review this on Goodreads now that I've finished it. 5 out of 5 stars, very good. That being said, the last short story in here called Judgment Day didn't really catch my attention or my imagination too much. I'm not sure chronological. I think the collection is chronological, so I think this is the last story she wrote. So maybe you would expect it to be her best, perhaps, seeing it's the last one she wrote. Yeah. So I'll give you a quick summary. There's a guy named Tanner. He's really old. He lived down south, maybe in Georgia, something like that. And he was squatting on land with his buddy, and the short story has a few flashbacks to how, like, different things in his past, like how he met this friend, and like him managing other workers, I don't know. And then one day a doctor from town buys the land and tells him he has to get off of it unless he runs like a distillery. And so he's kind of too proud to run a distillery for this guy who I think is like half black, and so he's like racist. He's like, I don't want to run a distillery for you. So he moves in with his daughter, who doesn't really know that well, but he moves up to New York City to move in with her. And she kind of takes care of him a little bit. She's pretty good to him because he's like very decrepit. But he really, really misses living down south. He misses his buddy Coleman. He just doesn't take well to city life. So in that regard, like the whole sort of plot setup, it's very similar to her very first short story, The Geranium. I forget the guy's name, Mr. Dudley or something like that, who's living, same thing, he kind of is living down south, is forced to move up north to New York City with his daughter because of some sort of arrangement, and he wants to leave. So same with Tanner. Tanner kind of wants to get out of there, but he's very close to dying and he knows it. So he's trying to, like, parts of the short story are him trying to like sneak past his daughter to like get out of the house, because he wants to hop on a train and take the train home back to his house, or his shack rather, that he's squatting in. The problem is that he has no money, so he can't like command a taxi or anything, and And the reason that he has no money is because he was waiting for a check to come in from the government, and he wanted to say hi to his neighbor, but then his neighbor like misunderstood his intentions and like attacked him. And because he's kind of weak, he just like had a heart attack. So he almost died. So his check from the government just covered his doctor bill, and now he has no money again. And his daughter promises to bury him back in Georgia, where he's from, but then he overhears her talking to her boyfriend or husband or something, and she's like, yeah, I'm just gonna bury him in New York. And he's like, what the heck? Like, you promised me to bury me down south. And so he eventually does like manage to escape one day. He like gets his coat ready. It's snowing out. It's like terrible weather, but he's like, okay, I'm gonna do it. And he like can barely walk to the door. Like he can't go anywhere. He's basically almost dead. So he makes it like out the door of the apartment, but he has to go down like 3 flights of stairs or whatever. And he runs into that neighbor that attacked him again. And I forget if he says something to him again. I think he like falls, and he's like holding onto the banister to like prevent him from like falling down the stairs. And then this like mean neighbor just like sticks his head and his arms and his legs through like the what do you call it, like the railing that goes down the stairs. He like sticks him in there like the stalks, and then he just dies. So I don't know. O'Connor doesn't say if this guy gets charged for like killing this old man and trapping him in the railing, but it is kind of a strange way to die, I'm not gonna lie. Anyways, then his daughter buries him in New York, and she can't sleep at night, and so she exhumes the body, or she doesn't do it herself, gets people to do it, ships him down to Georgia and buries him there, and then she can sleep again. And that's the short story. Of course, I believe it was intentional for O'Connor to sort of mirror her last short story with her first, the Geranium and Judgment Day. Am I saying it is Judgment Day, the last one? Yeah. The word, well, I can't talk. The reason it's called Judgment Day is because as Tanner is fantasizing about escaping, he has this little fantasy where they're gonna put him in a coffin, and he's gonna get shipped down to Georgia, and then when Coleman goes to open to like take the coffin off the train, he's gonna jump out of it and say it's Judgment Day. And he has that fantasy multiple times, but of course it never happens because he just dies in the banister. But yeah, that's just the story. So sorry if I'm missing something with that. I honestly not too passionate about that one. Didn't really like it. But anyways, overall, as a whole, very highly recommend this. But yeah, some of them shine brighter than others. All right. Yeah, like I said, this is the last vlog for a while. I'm gonna release a few videos, maybe in like a month from now. Maybe only 2 weeks from when you watch this video. But the big secret, I guess I'll just reveal it now, is that I'm going on a trip. Going on a road trip through the West Coast, so Washington and Oregon. I bought a camper van, and I'm gonna drive up the coast. I'm gonna haul books. I'm gonna try to keep you guys up to date. One problem is I can't really bring my PC, like I just have to bring my laptop, so I can't edit videos that well. So I can probably upload them from the computer, but the processing power on the laptop's not strong enough to like edit video, right? It'll just crash. So I won't be able to like upload like footage from the trip until after I get back. And I have no idea how long, like I'm planning, I gotta be back in Edmonton because I have a commitment sometime early August. So the first part of the trip's gonna be 2 months, but then after that I don't know how long I'm gonna be in the van for. So eventually I will find a real living situation and be able to like plug my PC back in and edit all the videos. But the actual footage from the trip will be delayed for when you'll see it. But I will post update videos for sure, like while I'm on the road. But yeah, anyways, that's all. So thank you all for watching. Yeah, it's fun having a little community on YouTube. Yeah, keep reading. See you later.